Seasons are just seasons, and I think sometimes we get freaked out when seasons change or when we're transitioning because we think that the transition period is always going to be, but that too is just a season. And as you're talking about your mom, reminded me of my mom, who was married to my dad for about 54 years. And my mom got married at the age of 16. So all she knew was going from her parents' home, where she was the oldest of 9 kids, to being married for 54 years. And then, you know, about 5 years ago, my dad, he transitioned into heaven. And so now my mom, who has always been either a daughter or a wife, finds herself in a new season of transition. You know, and my sisters and I, we always say it's hard raising parents because, you know, parents don't always want to obey you. But my mom, she's found her new season. And in her new season, she's become a chaplain. And she started prayer on the porch. And so on Tuesday, she has people coming to her porch and they pray. She leads them in Bible studies. She walks other men and women through grief. Like, she is excelling in her new season, when at first it was scary. The transition to this new season as a widow, which is her description and not her definition, is what she'll tell you. But it has morphed into the call of God upon her life. And I think a part of what we're talking about is, in every season, we've got to submit not just to the season, we've got to submit ourselves to God in the season. And I believe that when we submit ourselves to God in the season, then he shows us that he can take us through every season, whether it's spring, summer, winter, or fall. He's going to take us through.
I think what we actually fear is the transition more than the season. So, you know, we know we're coming in one season out of the other season. Now, I don't know because I had 2 C-sections, but maybe some of y'all that maybe like birthed your babies, from what my friends tell me, they say that transition period is like where, you know, you say things that are not in the Bible. You say things to your spouse that indicate that you will never be having a child with them again. And so, you know, but apparently that the pain and the fear. Now, I never went through that part in natural childbirth, but the truth is, I think the whole earth right now has had such a disruptive transition season, whether we wanted it or not. Especially, you know, it's been a rough last 5 years, but especially last 18 months, is everybody's in transition, whether you wanted to be or not. And I kept thinking as you were talking then, you know, how we define and even describe. You said your mother said this is descriptive. That's what triggered this thought in my mind. It's, you know, this is descriptive. It's not defining. Yeah. I'm thinking that there's so much pain, so much. We're looking at the world now. Dr. Anita, you'd probably have really good psychological words for this, to do with the trauma, and I'm sure there's trauma in transition during childbirth. I don't know what all the analogies are, but the whole world is in that space, and some of us are moving more smoothly, potentially, through this transition into whatever season, knowing somehow we sort of know God's going to be there in the season. We forget the transition part, though, because this is so painful. And so if we don't, we're losing people in transition that we don't need to lose, because we are losing sight of God and how to define the transition. I mean, Dr. Anita, do you know even what I'm talking about right now?
Oh, you nailed it. Now, first of all, I'm a big birth person, so you nailed it on that. I had both my kids naturally, one at home alone with my husband. He caught her. And so as I trained for that, I spent months training for that, because you don't just wait till you get to the hospital and say, hey, no painkillers. I trained for that. And one of the things that I learned is you'll know you're in transition, not because of the pain, although that was there, not because you're angry, although that was there, but when you hear that voice in your mind that says, I can't do this. Transition is the moment that you want to give up, and you believe that your body can't handle it, that your heart and that your mind can't handle it. And however you react to that, that is the emotional motivating factor. And so the woman who trained me for my birth said, when you hear yourself say, I can't do it, you're done. And so we have to be able to step outside of ourselves and observe what we're hearing ourselves say, observe what our minds and our hearts are telling us, and know when it is contrary to the truth of God. I can't do this. And when I heard myself say that during my first labor, it was like, there's the lie. The truth is I'm almost done. And so you're right. We've been through so many transitions in these last 18 months. And there are parts of us that are yelling, I can't do this anymore. I want out. I want this to end. And all we want is normalcy. We want predictability. We want to know what's coming next. We want just a regular, boring life from here on forward. But don't let that cause you to miss your next. Because what every woman has said here today is this incredible truth about the lives of women. We live so many lives. We raise children, we get married, we have careers, we switch careers, we have ministries. We can live so many lives. And I have friends who got married at 40 and had amazing careers and then went home and decided to raise kids. Right. I raised my kids young and now I'm spending all this wonderful time in my career. I've done ministry. Your life is so potent with opportunity. Stop trying to figure out what it will be from here and just be excited about what it is now, because transitional pain will cause you to abort your next, but don't. Don't.
At TBN, our mission is to use every available means to reach as many individuals and families as possible with the life-changing gospel of Jesus Christ.
Thank you for helping make the gospel of grace go around the world.
And it's because of you that partner with us that this ministry continues. God bless you.